Good morning, Card Beanies. RJ back with the video. Let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day. From 1985, a Mike Schmidt, Magic Motion coin, essentially, kind of a sports flicks thing. These were available on the bottom of your cups from 7-Eleven back in the 80s. 7-Eleven, I think they were national, but it's a convenience store like Wawa and Sheetz on the East Coast, Circle K out west, Royal Farms is one, a place to get gas and snacks in a little store. Everybody had some form of it wherever they live. In-N-Out stores, Go store, whatever they call them, a lot of different names for them, but 7-Eleven I thought was a national one. And these were actually at the bottom of your cup. They had a little thing you could tear off, and one of these would be on the bottom of your drink cup. So this one is just Mike alone. There were several different varieties every year. There's about 4 or 5 different varieties based upon the area of release. So this is one of the many in my collection. My random baseball item of the day. It's odd that I have, we all have thousands and thousands of cards, and I have thousands and thousands of cards from thousands and thousands of different manufacturers over the years. Single cards here and there from places I don't even remember where I got them. But in this case, Topps' Bazooka release back in 2004. Very young Cliff Lee on this card. I believe this is technically his rookie card. Don't quote me on that. Probably not, because it does says in his 11 Major League starts to date, and this is his 2003 card, and it only has him going 9 starts. So this is just an early Cliff Lee card, not a rookie, but he looks very young, still with the Indians at the time. He would be with the Phillies briefly, then gone, then back again for the magical 2011 season. Very sweet little card of Cliff Lee. Trivia, again, we're no trivia this week. I'm on vacation. As you listen to this, I am down south enjoying myself. In the meantime, it is time for a large set on Friday, and the one I'm going to show you is the first ever Leaf set from 1991. This is a header card that they had, the Leaf set. This was in 1991. It was the first year that other card companies began releasing premium brands to try and get back some of the market share that Upper Deck was siphoning off because of the immaculate quality of their cards, the unbelievable photography, and just Upper Deck was doing it right. And even though it cost more, collectors were swarming to Upper Deck. So this was the first offering by Donruss. The parent company was Leaf out of Canada. Or they might have been local to America at the time, but Leaf was the parent company. Donruss was the American name they had given. So what does a Leaf card look like? I will show off a Hall of Famer for you. It was a very basic card design, and I'm a big fan of basic card designs. Card designs don't like a lot of junk, don't like a lot of things to detract your mind and eyes from the image itself. So this is Lee Smith, obviously. Every card was exactly like this. There were no inserts at all. I shouldn't say no inserts. There were no subsets. It was just 528 cards. They had a couple checklist cards. Other than the checklist cards, there was nothing special. All player cards. No team cards, no league leaders, no highlights, nothing. Just 528 players plus a couple checklist cards. So this is your basic design. Gray border, silver border, prone to chipping if you're going to get PSA graded. Black kind of corners and a little white frame around the picture. Always a great picture. In the back, portrait shot, and your standard bio and stats. You can see here, this was Series 1. They did release it in 2 series, similar to a lot of Donruss products at the time. Donruss was still doing series releases. So this is Series 1, where Lee Smith came out of. What I'm going to show off to you today is a couple cool cards. I'm going to go through the Hall of Famers and tell you, well, let me tell you a couple more interesting things. The Leaf set, Donruss was still doing puzzle inserts, and this was before 1991 was the last year Topps inserted gum into their cards. 1992, there was no gum. That was the end of the gum era in Topps. Well, Donruss was still doing puzzle inserts in their cards this time. Eventually, they would stop too. So would Fleer stop with the, wasting our time with stickers. But Donruss did puzzles in 1991. The main puzzle in the flagship release was Willie Stargell, but for whatever reason, they switched to Harmon Killebrew in the Leaf release. So they did 2 puzzles that year. Another insert you could find was they had a series of 26 cards. I'll show you that later, which were gold rookies. So some of the hotter rookies of the season had their own insert cards, along with record breaker cards. That year, Nolan Ryan had pitched his 7th no-hitter, and Rickey Henderson had broken Lou Brock's stolen base record. So by the time Series 2 came out, they had the ability to create these insert cards and release them. I'll show those to you in a second. Other than that, they were supposed to have been, I looked around on the Bay and could not find this, although the tradingcarddatabase.com says they exist. Cards 265 through 278 are supposed to be short printed, numbered variations of gold leaf of some of the rookies. So they actually had card variations, they say, of whoever the basic player was for that card number. They were supposed to have released same number of variations of some of the hotter rookies, but I could not find any evidence of those on the Bay. Don't say it doesn't exist, just say I haven't found one. So that's an interesting plot twist. So I'm going to show off a couple cards that I thought looked pretty cool, and then I'll go through all the Hall of Famers with you on Leaf 1991 Leaf. This is their attempt to get a really cool action shot. You have Jody Reed, believe of the Red Sox, leaping high at second base, throwing on to first to double up somebody sliding into him. I do not know who that is. Don't want to guess the team because there's no information. And there's the back of Jody Reed. But that's their attempt at getting a cool action shot. Just like this shot of Travis Fryman, excuse me. Got the dust kicking up there at the bottom, and he's getting ready to do a transfer. I'm not sure if says he's playing third base, so I'm not sure if he's going to throw across the diamond or go to second, start a double play. Nice little image of the umpire in the back. I thought that was a really cool one. Here is Will Smith fielding first base. I like this card mostly because it's Lenny Dykstra in the background. You can see they're playing the Phils, probably at Veterans Stadium because gosh, I can't remember the name. Candlestick Park was a natural grass field, and that's clearly turf there. So, duh. The Phillies are in their home uniforms of San Francisco. Their road uniforms, duh. Of course, they're Philly. Anyway, I just thought that was cool with Lenny Dykstra in the background. This was an interesting one for me. Julio Franco. Looks like they caught this picture just as he's calling time. He's got his hand up, bat was up, and he's released the left hand, and he's got his mouth open like he's saying, time up. I just thought that was a neat picture. Like this one of Jamie Kirk. It's like he's getting ready at home to receive a ball. I'm not sure if that is if he's like trying to block the plate. You can see the umpire behind there getting close for the play. Or if it's like a force play because he's got his helmet off. And he's just getting ready to receive the ball. Similarly here, I thought this was a really cool one. This looks like spring training because the Yankee players are right there in the background. This looks like wouldn't have been Yankee Stadium with the players that close, the pitchers that close, the bullpen. But, Mattingly's getting ready to receive a ball, stretching his foot from first base. So force play at first. I just thought those were a couple of the cool cards. It's interesting they're trying to do a high-end set. The cards were much higher quality, but the images didn't appeal to me. Those were about the best images I could find. Everything else looks very standard for the time. So here's the Hall of Famers. We saw the Lee Smith one already. John Smoltz. You'll see these kind of poses. These kind of poses you see all the time on every freaking car there is. I don't know how this is like a high quality set other than, cost you more. Interesting, Craig Biggio still as a catcher very early in his career here. Craig Biggio. Greg Maddux still with the Cubs. Eddie Murray had moved over to the Dodgers around 1990. Robin Yount. Ricky was back with the A's, having spent some years with the Yankees. There you go. Take a look at that. 1989, he got traded back to Oakland just after their World Series victory, unfortunately. Well, I guess no, he was there for the World Series victory because 89 was the year, but, he was there, and he wasn't there in 88. He was still with New York, but he made it for the 89 series, and he was there for the 90 series. Ozzie. Nice little pose there, leaning on the back. Ryan Sandberg with a little flip. Kirby. Harold Baines on the A's by this time. So many great years with the White Sox. He had moved on to the Athletics. Tom Glavine. Tony Gwynn. Looks like he's just soft-tossing out there. Dennis Eckersley. Standard pose for Dennis Eckersley on his cards. Frank Thomas. Wade Boggs. Looked like he just drove one the other way. Alomar. Very young Larry Walker. Most of Larry Walker's rookie cards were 1990, so this would not be a Larry Walker rookie. Goose Gossage on the Rangers, still with a nasty-looking face. Junior. There is a Ken Griffey Sr. card in this set. That's why Ken gets the Junior. Alan Trammell. Nice little play there. I think he's late on that one because the ball's just barely in the glove. I'm not sure if he's trying to swipe tag the guy or if it was a force play. New Hall of Famer Fred McGriff on the Padres. George Brett. Looks like it was a spring training thing with that kind of top. Great Randy Johnson. Paul Molitor. Jack Morris with the Twins. He would help the Twins win the World Series in 91. Gary Carter. Had been the Dodgers then. Nice Cal Ripken. Probably a spring training uniform top there as well. Here's your Nolan. Good little follow through for Nolan. Tim Raines on the White Sox at this time. Dawson with the Cubs. Carlton Fisk just drove one out of the park, let's say. Edgar still fielding. Edgar still at third, not yet at DH. And then Dave Winfield. So those are your Hall of Famers. Like I said, they did a checklist, and the checklists are interesting because the front of the checklist is all the different checklist of the cards, but on the back they had players. So they actually had Dave Justice, Roger Clemens, George Brett, Barry Bonds, Darryl Strawberry, and Sandy Alomar. So let's take a look at the Brett and the Clemens. Or just to do the Brett. Let me pull the Hall of Famers out here. So did they use the exact same portrait for that as they did for the other one? So there's a George Brett card in here somewhere. There it is. Nope, they actually used a different portrait shot, and that was nice of them to. Wasn't there a Nolan Ryan card too? No, I guess not. Anyway, it was nice of them to switch up the checklist card. So let's take a look real quick. What is that? The BC cards right there. There it is, BC 10. What am I looking for? Series 1 and Series 2. There it is. Okay, yeah, so here's Series 1. This is the end of Series 1, 264 cards. And you can see this is the list of the rookies that made it into that bonus stack. That was the Series 1 checklist. Your Series 2 checklist also had the rest of the bonus cards. Here's the rest of the bonus cards. And like I said, they had two record breakers for Ricky and Nolan. Let's show you those real quick. So here's the rookie stack. These were inserts. They were not part of the base set. They have a BC label, bonus card. Donruss had always done bonus card, BC, numbering in their card products. So Scott Luis, don't know him at all. Luis Gonzalez, great card. This guy is borderline Hall of Famer. I thought Luis Gonzalez was a lot better than people give him credit for. He's a solid baseball player forever. These gold foils are susceptible to chipping and loss of the foil. Will Cordero, Gary Scott, Willie Banks, Arthur Tuffy Rhodes, Mo Vaughn. Even back then, Mo was a husky guy, even in his rookie years. Henry Rodriguez, Todd Van Poppel, one of the biggest, highly touted busts ever. Reggie Sanders, Rico Brogna, fan favorite in Philly by the mid-90s. Moose, Mike Mussina, Hall of Famer there. Kirk Dressendorfer, nice name. Here's your Bagwell rookie. That'll get you a couple bucks if you get it slabbed in a 10. Nothing special, though. These are all, way overly produced. Pete Sherrick, Wade Taylor, Pat Kelly, Tim Costo, Roger Salkeld, Andujar Cedeno, Ryan Klesko, highly touted rookie one time. Mike Huff, Anthony Young, Eddie Zosky, and then there was, like I said, your two highlight cards. Nolan Ryan's 7th no-hitter and Ricky Henderson's stolen base record, which both of these happened on the same date. Ricky might have thought he was the star that day, but I promise you, most people were talking about Nolan Ryan's 7th no-hitter. Then we're talking about Ricky. So there you have it today, people. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, no trivia this week, so there will be no Sunday trivia recap, but I will be back again Monday with a brand new series of trivia questions and answers for you all, some great prizes. So stop back again Monday. Enjoy your weekend. I'm still recuperating from my vacation. I will say this. When you're listening to this on Friday, I will not be recuperating from my vacation. I will still be on it. But when you guys come back on Monday, I will be 100% recouping from my vacation. So I'll talk to you then, all right? Thanks for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, all that jazz. Appreciate the support as I try my best to support everybody else. Thanks for watching. Take care.